Millions of people across North America will look to the heavens as the moon passes in front and between the sun and the earth.
In April 2024, there's a possibility that it could mark the end of our time on Earth. A sweeping solar eclipse will cast shadows from Mexico to Canada, transforming daylight into a twilight spectacle. This event could potentially be the last eclipse humanity witnesses. Surprisingly, there's little discussion about its significance. Delving into this oversight might uncover why this eclipse holds such importance. Could this be the end? Are we safe? Join us as we uncover what is about to happen during what might be the last eclipse we'll all witness. The 2024 Eclipse Wake-Up Call. As we all look forward to April 2024, there's a big event that's going to catch everyone's attention: a total solar eclipse. This isn't just any eclipse, it's going to cover the sky, starting from Mexico's Pacific side in the morning and moving all the way across America, from places like Texas to Maine. Finally, it'll say goodbye in Newfoundland, Canada. What makes this event really special is that if you're standing in a certain path, you'll get to see the eclipse in full effect, while others outside this area will still see part of it. This eclipse is extra special because it's the last one like this we'll see in the United States for a long time, until 2044, making it a must-see for everyone. In cities like Dallas, Texas, and Caribou, Maine, things will get really interesting. Imagine being in broad daylight 1 minute, and then suddenly, it feels like twilight. This is when the eclipse shows off the sun's corona, a kind of halo that looks both beautiful and mysterious. Some places like Eagle Pass in Texas and Durango City in Mexico will be in the moon's shadow for almost 4 minutes, giving people plenty of time to marvel at the sight. But there's more to look forward to than just the eclipse itself. The sky will also host a mini-show, with planets like Venus and Jupiter popping up to say hello. Venus will be hanging out to the west-southwest, and Jupiter will be over to the east-northeast. If we're really lucky, we might even catch a glimpse of Comet Pons Brooks, also known as the Devil's Comet, near Jupiter, if it decides to shine bright enough for us to see. When the total eclipse happens, it's not just about the sky getting dark. There's this amazing effect where you can see a kind of sunset all around you, no matter where you look. It's a sight that's hard to describe and even harder to forget. It makes you think about how vast and mysterious the universe is. For those eager to see this event, there's good news. The eclipse's path covers a big part of North America, so there are plenty of spots where you can enjoy the view. Just remember, safety first. You'll need the right gear to watch without hurting your eyes. And because this kind of eclipse is so rare, it's not just a chance to see something cool. It's an experience that brings people together, making us all feel part of something bigger. This upcoming eclipse feels like it's straight out of a storybook, mixing old tales and modern worries. It's as if we're all looking for signs in the sky, wondering what the universe is trying to tell us. Some places, by coincidence, even share names with ancient cities from prophecy, adding to the feeling that there's more to this event than meets the eye. On April 2024, we'll witness a total solar eclipse, an event that holds deep meanings, sparking curiosity across scientific and spiritual realms. This fascinating event, where the moon blocks the sun, creating darkness in the middle of the day, has captivated people for thousands of years. Long ago, folks believed eclipses were powerful messages from beyond, a view shared by cultures from the Mayans to the Babylonians, and even through to medieval Europe's interpretations. In the realm of Christianity, eclipses sometimes get seen through a religious perspective, considered as divine signals. Leaders like Mark Blitz and Paul Begley suggest that these events could align with biblical prophecies, hinting at major spiritual shifts or signaling the approach of end times. They refer to biblical texts from Joel and Revelation that talk about the sun darkening before significant divine moments, adding layers of spiritual meaning to eclipses. But the conversation isn't all doom and gloom. Many find beauty and divine craftsmanship in the order of the universe displayed during an eclipse, particularly in the rare chance to see the sun's corona. This stunning sight at totality not only showcases the scientific wonders of our cosmos, but also a moment of significant beauty that can deepen appreciation for the universe's creator. Some even ponder if the paths of major eclipses, correlating with events like pandemics, might carry broader messages or judgments from a higher power. This narrative, rich with curiosity and a hint of skepticism, explores how humans grapple with the cosmos's mysteries. It touches on the balance between scientific exploration and the quest for meaning, the excitement of experiencing a cosmic rarity against the backdrop of age-old prophecies. Here, the April 8th eclipse becomes more than a celestial event. It's a moment for cultural and spiritual reflection, inviting us to consider not just the movements of heavenly bodies, but the very essence of our being. Step into a tale where the sky's messages make us think about old prophecies and seek meaning. The 2024 eclipse, a warning from the Bible. For ages, solar eclipses haven't been just simple shadows on the sun. They've come to carry a big, almost funny amount of importance in different cultures, especially in stories found in the Bible. It seems like every time there's an eclipse, it's as if God is sending out a special message to people. It's like a tradition where the sky turns into a huge stage, using shadows and light to show us messages from above. The Bible is full of these moments, making eclipses seem like either something God planned or like they're shining a light on what's going to happen next in the world. Specific parts of the Bible, like Amos chapter 8 verse 9 and Matthew chapter 24 verse 29, talk about the sun getting dark and the moon not shining. Over time, people have thought of these moments as special messages or signs from God. These stories tell us about big changes in the sky that mean something important might happen soon. When the Bible talks about the sun going dark or the moon looking like blood, it's not just talking about what's happening in the sky. These events are filled with deeper meaning, signaling big changes or moments when God might step in and change the course of history. For example, Matthew chapter 24 verse 29 is part of a talk Jesus gives about the end of the world, mentioning things like the sun getting dark as signs that he's coming back. These changes in the sky are shown as warnings of the end times, a period full of trouble but also leading to Jesus showing his power. This idea goes back to old prophecies and is part of a bigger story in the Bible that sees these sky events as signs of God's plan or as the beginning of really important times. In the same way, the stories in Amos and Matthew show that what happens in the sky might be connected to messages from God. These parts of the Bible make it clear that even the stars and planets might be part of God's way of telling us about what's going to happen because of what people do, or to show us his big plan. These stories also mention other big problems like natural disasters and wars, happening at the same time as these sky changes in Matthew chapter 24, showing a time of big trouble that points to God doing something big in the world. These moments are meant to make people pay attention and get ready, even though no one knows exactly when they'll happen. But one thing is sure, they will happen. Genesis chapter 1 verse 14 is a key part of the creation story, where God sets up the sun, moon, and stars for keeping time and marking special days. This shows that these celestial bodies were made with a purpose, not just for light, but also as a way for us to keep track of time and celebrate important events. It's a reminder of how everything in the universe is ordered and has a reason, challenging old ideas that these things in the sky were gods themselves. This part of Genesis isn't just about that moment. It tells us about the relationship between God and the universe he made. Creating these lights in the sky was meant to help us tell day from night and guide us through the seasons. But calling them signs suggests they also have a bigger meaning, maybe showing us that God is in charge and hinting at his big plans happening over time. It's a way of recognizing how the sky and stars show how amazing the Creator is, like in Psalm chapter 19 verse 1, where it says the sky tells us about God's glory. In Genesis chapter 1 verse 14, When the Bible talks about the sun, moon, and stars as markers for signs, seasons, days, and years, it's pointing out how important they are for us. These lights in the sky help with farming, finding our way, and remind us there's a big plan and order to everything. Everything in the sky moves in a way that's regular and predictable, showing us that the universe follows specific rules, like it's all part of a big plan or command. When the total solar eclipse happens on April 8, 2024, it's going to be a big deal. It's not just an event for people who love space. It's also seen as full of meaning from the Bible. The eclipse will cross North America, and some people think this path is highlighting a very special moment that we should think about deeply, maybe even connecting it to stories from the Bible. The paths of the solar eclipses in 2017 and 2024, making an X across the United States, has gotten a lot of people talking. When two eclipses cross over places like Missouri, Illinois, and Kentucky, some think it might mean something special, maybe even a message or warning about things happening in the world or in the United States, especially regarding policies about Israel. The idea is that these eclipses might be a sign from above, pointing out things like the coronavirus pandemic as warnings. Interesting details, like the 2017 eclipse passing over places named Salem and meeting the 2024 eclipse near a place called Little Egypt, add to the story. Some people see these as hints connecting the eclipses to Bible stories about judgment and new beginnings, suggesting that these eclipses mark a time of big changes. As the eclipse casts its shadow, it also brings up ideas from the Bible about coming together and experiencing something big as a group, almost as if we're all part of a big story being told with the sky as its backdrop. The 2024 eclipse is seen not just as an interesting thing to watch, but as a big event planned out with deep meanings behind it, like a message being shared with everyone. This upcoming eclipse gives people a chance to come together, think about what it all might mean, and maybe find deeper meanings or messages in it. It's an opportunity to look past the science and wonder if there's more to the story, or just to enjoy how amazing the universe can be. Crazy how an old story relates to us today, the dawn of a new era. As we inch closer to April 8th, 2024, the excitement builds for a total solar eclipse that will sweep across parts of the United States, making many of us look up in wonder. This isn't just a chance to see a rare space event. It's also a time for deep thinking and maybe even changing our ways, much like the story of Jonah and Nineveh from the Bible. In that tale, Jonah is sent to tell Nineveh they must change their ways or face ruin. What's interesting is Jonah is worried they'll actually listen and be spared, showing he'd rather see them punished. This story pushes us to question our own feelings towards others, reminding us that seeing someone as an enemy can make us forget they're also God's creations. The story also underlines God's kindness, which isn't just for a select group, but for everyone, even those we might not expect. This idea that God's love is for all people is a big part of what Jesus taught too, showing that everyone is invited to be part of God's family. Jonah's adventure inside the great fish is about more than just a miraculous escape. It points ahead to Jesus' own death and coming back to life, offering a picture of how we can find a new start through turning back to God. What mattered wasn't so much the type of fish that swallowed Jonah, but the sign it gave of hope and new beginnings. The tale of Jonah isn't just a personal story. It's got something to say about how societies and even the whole world should act. It tells us that no one is too far gone to be given another chance by God, as long as there's real regret and a willingness to change. In a world full of division, the reminder that we shouldn't be quick to write others off, but should look for the possibility of change in everyone, is very relevant. The book of Jonah encourages us to reach out and understand each other instead of sticking to cycles of dislike and conflict. In today's world, where doubt and disbelief often take center stage, comparing the upcoming solar eclipse to ancient signs might seem like an imaginative stretch for some. Yet, for those looking deeper than the basic science of stars and planets, this event is a meaningful nudge, a push reminding us that turning back and embracing kindness are not just old tales, but timeless truths that still matter. As the shadow of the 2024 eclipse travels across the heart of America, it does so without favor, crossing lines of culture, politics, and faith. This act of nature shows us that the chance to reflect and change for the better is offered to everyone, no matter who they are or where they come from. The story of Jonah's mission to Nineveh is about more than just a city avoiding disaster. It's about the power of second chances and how it's never too late to make a change. This message hits home in today's world, urging us to drop our biases and see everyone as deserving of compassion. Moreover, the tale puts a spotlight on how crucial leadership can be in guiding people toward positive change. Like the king of Nineveh leading his city in a collective act of humility, leaders today have the responsibility to recognize the signs of our times and lead their communities toward good. As we await the solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024, it's not just an exciting space event. It's a perfect time for each of us to look inward and think about how we can improve ourselves and our world. This event calls us to remember the importance of faith, obedience, and aligning our lives with what's truly good. Pastor Troy Brewer talked about how this eclipse could be a sign from the heavens, urging us to wake up and prepare, moving from being passive to being ready for action. He sees this event as a crucial moment, following 7 years after the last major eclipse in America, reminding us to pay attention to the teachings of Jesus and the signs of the times. Solar eclipses have always captivated people with their mix of mystery and beauty, seen as chances to reflect and embrace new beginnings. The 2024 eclipse, with its extended darkness and visibility across much of North America, offers a unique moment for us all to let go of old ways and step into a period of growth and spiritual renewal. The eclipse on April 8, 2024, promises to be a standout event for many reasons. With the moon closer to Earth, the darkness it brings will be deeper, making this eclipse last longer than usual, giving everyone a great view of the sun's stunning outer atmosphere. This, and the activity on the sun's surface, could make for a breathtaking sight. This eclipse's path will allow millions in America to watch without having to travel far. This makes the 2024 eclipse especially unique, along with the exciting solar activity expected during this time. Eclipses offer a rare chance for scientists to study the sun's corona and other solar phenomena in detail. The moon's role in creating this alignment reminds us of the beauty and complexity of the universe and our enduring fascination with it. For those planning to witness this spectacle, being in the path of totality is key to getting the full experience of day turning to night. Preparing ahead for where to watch and how to do so safely is crucial, given the high interest. Next, the sky might just tell us something important: what the final eclipse is trying to say. As the sky prepares for the spectacle of the April 8, 2024 solar eclipse, it's not just an ordinary event, but something that many see as a profound message from the heavens. It's like a grand story, told without words, showcasing the wonder of the universe. With the stars of Leo framing this event, it brings to mind the strength and leadership of Christ, known as the Lion of Judah, encouraging everyone to follow his example of strength and kindness. This upcoming eclipse has people talking about its connection to stories in the book of Revelation, making many think about its deeper meaning against today's world events. It seems to pull from stories of old, urging us to think and maybe change our ways, like a message aimed right at us from the past. The stories of the four horsemen, signaling tough times like disease, war, hunger, and death, seem to be reflected in what's happening around us now with pandemics, conflicts, and climate disasters. It's as if the events of today were foretold, asking us to look at our lives and find comfort in belief. People are drawing parallels between the events happening globally and stories from the Bible, seeing signs of big changes, advancements in technology, and efforts for peace as clues to a bigger plan unfolding. It's a mix of old prophecies and modern-day happenings that has many pondering where we're headed. For many, solar eclipses are more than just astronomical events. They're seen as signs with deep spiritual meanings. These moments when the sun, moon, and earth align perfectly offer a rare glimpse of the universe's beauty and God's power, prompting deeper reflection on faith and our role in creation. Throughout history, different cultures have seen eclipses as significant omens or messages. From ancient China and the Mayans to medieval Europe, these events have been marked as times of change or divine signals, showing that humans have long seen the hand of something greater in the movements of the heavens. Though the Bible doesn't specifically mention solar eclipses, it talks about times when the sky goes dark during the day, which some think could refer to eclipses. These moments are often seen as signs from God, marking important times or events. As we face challenges that remind us of biblical stories of trials and change, this doesn't mean giving up, but rather preparing and holding strong to faith. This period in history is seen not as an end, but a call to be ready, remembering that in all the turmoil, there's a promise of hope and a new beginning with Christ. In this cycle of history, echoing with familiar tales, we're reminded of God's unchanging nature, offering solace and a constant presence amid change. Explore our fight with flaws and the quest for better selves, finding light in the most remote darkness. This narrative explores the timeless struggle between human flaws and the pursuit of spiritual redemption, likening our journey to the Herculean effort of pushing a boulder uphill only to watch it roll down again. It draws upon the idea that despite our imperfections, we're called to reflect Christ's unwavering essence in our lives. History, with its repetitive cycle of errors and suffering, challenges us to break free from despair and sin, suggesting salvation and change are possible through Jesus Christ, who is seen as a universal remedy in a world plagued by its recurring faults. The story then transitions into the broader discussion on faith's impact on contemporary issues, from the delicate balance in personal relationships to environmental stewardship and political engagement, demonstrating the relevance of religious teachings in addressing modern challenges. It highlights how faith communities can offer valuable perspectives on climate change, emphasizing the need for cooperation beyond religious lines for a sustainable future. Additionally, the narrative touches on the role of education in passing down cultural and historical insights, where religious stories enrich our understanding and foster community through shared values. Yet, it also acknowledges the friction between religious teachings and secular values in educational settings, underscoring the complexities of practicing faith in diverse societies. As the narrative unfolds, it ventures into the realm of biblical prophecy, particularly focusing on the speculative role of contemporary nations, like the United States, within these predictions. It critically examines the portrayal of Mystery Babylon from the Book of Revelation as a metaphor for modern entities characterized by wealth, moral decline, and defiance against divine will, engaging in a nuanced debate over the interpretation of prophetic texts and their application to current geopolitical and moral landscapes. The discussion around America's speculated role in biblical prophecy and its association with Mystery Babylon ignites a spectrum of interpretations, from cautionary skepticism to rich theological inquiry. It critiques the simplistic application of ancient prophecies to current entities, while also opening up a dialogue on the themes of power, ethical conduct, and accountability in the eyes of divine judgment. This examination challenges us to reflect on the moral and spiritual dimensions of contemporary global influence, prompting a reevaluation of our societal values and actions in light of prophetic teachings. Some experts argue that directly linking Mystery Babylon to any one country or place oversimplifies a complex concept. Instead, they suggest that Mystery Babylon symbolizes widespread moral and ethical issues that affect politics, economics, and religion worldwide. This interpretation sees Mystery Babylon not just as a physical location, but as a representation of all human systems that go against what is considered divinely right, appearing in different forms across history. The involvement of England and America in these prophetic discussions is notable, with some pointing out the historical connections and their impact on world events. This view considers their roles within the context of prophecies found in the biblical books of Daniel and Revelation, hinting that their actions on the global stage could align with end times predictions. The biblical story of Babylon's fall serves as a powerful warning against arrogance, idol worship, and moral decay. Prophets like Isaiah and Jeremiah predicted Babylon's downfall, emphasizing that its great power and achievements couldn't protect it from divine punishment for its wrongdoings. Isaiah's prophecy is particularly striking, as it names Cyrus the Great as Babylon's conqueror long before his birth, showcasing the precise nature of these predictions. The depiction of Babylon in the Bible goes beyond historical events to offer lessons on the spiritual consequences of a society's actions. Revelation uses Babylon's downfall as a metaphor for the eventual triumph over evil, warning of the destruction awaiting places filled with sin and corruption. These stories encourage reflection on our societal and personal spiritual conditions, highlighting the dangers of complacency, deception, and turning away from faith. They remind us of the importance of humility, reliance on divine guidance, and living righteously. The conversation around these topics often emphasizes the need for careful interpretation and a humble approach to prophecy. It suggests that while we might not fully understand these ancient texts, the focus should be on living according to values of faith, hope, and love. The invitation to come out of Babylon is seen as a call to reject sinful systems and live in a way that aligns with higher divine principles. See how a sky event makes us think about our role in the universe, preparing yourself for the world and the prophecies. As we inch closer to April 8th, 2024, the anticipation for the total solar eclipse grows, transforming it from a simple marvel of the universe into a significant, thought-provoking event. This isn't just a chance to witness the wonders of space. It's a moment that challenges us to reconsider our place in the universe. Imagine the vast cosmos deciding to momentarily dim the spotlight on humanity, offering us a pause to reflect on our smallness in the grand scheme of things. Solar eclipses have always held deep meanings, seen by many cultures as powerful symbols prompting change, growth, and self-examination. They invite us to pause and think about where we're headed, encouraging us to let go of old habits and embrace new beginnings. For many, these events are a time when they feel the universe is sending a message, asking us to look inward and realign our spirits. Eclipses represent the delicate balance of existence, reminding us that life is fleeting and constantly evolving. Ancient civilizations often saw the dramatic shift from day to night during an eclipse as a divine signal, pushing communities to come together and reflect. These celestial occurrences are more than just beautiful sights. They're seen as opportunities for spiritual awakening and personal transformation. By observing the alignment of the sun, moon, and earth, we're invited to connect more deeply with ourselves and the mysteries of life, reevaluating our paths and making meaningful changes. Astrologically, eclipses are considered to trigger significant shifts, affecting us on personal levels and indicating broader societal changes. They highlight the ongoing dance of cosmic energies, symbolizing the potential for deep inner changes and the start of new chapters in our lives. In the grand narrative of the universe, this upcoming eclipse calls us to embrace both reflection and action. It's seen as a divine reminder to uphold virtues of faith, hope, and love, even as the world around us seems to be in turmoil. Exploring the connection between cosmic events and spirituality reveals a rich tradition of seeking divine truth and understanding through the stars. Mystical traditions and ancient practices underscore a deep quest for meaning, showing us diverse ways to connect with the divine and enrich our understanding of existence. Moreover, the resurgence of ancient spiritual practices demonstrates a collective desire to reconnect with nature and the divine, tapping into the wisdom of traditions that celebrate the sacredness of the natural world and its cycles. The importance of spirituality in modern life calls for a re-examination of how we incorporate these beliefs into various aspects of society, encouraging a holistic view that embraces spiritual insights to address contemporary challenges. Cosmic events like solar eclipses, alongside enduring spiritual traditions, invite us to pause and reflect on our spiritual journey and the values that guide us. They challenge us to seek a deeper purpose and align ourselves with a vision of life that transcends the materialistic focus of the modern world. This blend of cosmic symbolism and spiritual awakening offers a unique chance for personal and collective growth, guiding us towards a more enlightened and harmonious way of being. Yet, amidst this contemplation, we are also reminded of our tendency to search for meaning in the cosmos, interpreting the movements of celestial bodies as messages or omens. The eclipse, in its magnificence, might simply be the universe's way of capturing our attention, prompting us to look beyond our daily concerns and recognize our place in the vast cosmos. The 2024 eclipse isn't just a space event. It makes us think about our big world. What message might it bring? Let us know, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.